think the economic environment that we're currently in, which means that everybody, it's not just competitive, but actually you need to be more efficient to survive because margins are thin. In terms of, those winning organisations, they're the ones that manage their cost base most effectively. And the only way you can get the most productive output from your staff is clearly if they're properly engaged.
I think to answer the direct question of what's in the way, ourselves really, levels of communication, the accuracy of communication, the ability to be able to see what you need and only what you need is the critical part. And you need to do that on a platform that accesses the people that need to know more than we've done previously. So ultimately, right first time is probably one of the most efficient things any retailer's ever going to do.
So for me, I think it's about how do you free up your people to add value. We all have support offices and we churn out loads of stuff, and everyone's bit of stuff is always the most important bit. But actually, how do you control what's going out so that it's manageable? How do we make sure that it's right and appropriate for that individual location so that we're spending our time productively? And so what then happens is stores opt out and they'll do some stuff and not other stuff. They will start to make a judgment as to what's important for them. And therefore you get this inconsistency, you get sort of operational non-compliance.
Whilst you need to give freedom within a framework to encourage, innovation and ownership, but there typically is one best way of doing most critical tasks. And actually, if you've got tools that allow you to do that, then you've got half a chance of getting the right things done.
In Boots, we had what was known as the daily diary, which was the list of checklists that you had to go through. It was paper-driven. We had no idea whether it was being completed or not. We were just creating a load of work which wasn't necessary. So that was the first user case, was to put that onto YOOBIC.
The ultimate goal for us was engagement. We didn't have a way of engaging our frontline colleagues. So we didn't have an existing platform that we spoke to them corporately. We wanted to be more efficient, but really at the heart of it, the engagement side of the platform we were looking for was really important.
There's a softer benefit here that we don't often talk about as well, which is brand consistency. So if you are consistent with the tasks and the actions that you're taking in store, you start to deliver the same customer experience.
We went with YOOBIC for probably two main reasons. One was actually it's quite an elegant product. You don't need a manual to use it. And fairness to the team, they were very responsive and worked really closely with us to develop it and launch it.
And I think YOOBIC in particular had better user experience for us, in our opinion, than other platforms. And certainly when you're trying to engage the front line, if it's not simple, they ain't going to use it. What we've looked at about 6 providers, and we ended up, after a trip to NRF, we thought this was the best platform for us that answered those 2 questions.
When we were in Boots, we had a pilot group who tested it all first. So they had any checklists or anything that went out went to that group first, and they had a direct feed in, so we learned. And it helps to get buy-in.
I think the fact that you get the community side of it at the same time helps. Actually, when you've got celebration of success in the communities, and they're at store level, area level, regional level, and it's either celebrating success, celebrating long service, celebrating whatever you want to do, I think it actually sort of helps tasks go in easier because you've got a balance.
And I think the other key thing I would call out from launching it is controlling what goes onto the platform.
No, I think especially with such large organisations, you need that gatekeeping process there. Because as you said, everyone will kind of see, what's this? I want to send something down to the stores. What we've been doing with a lot of our partners too is building that type of content calendar.
So when you're having to find £28 million every year to just stay flat, then you've got to look at all options, and you have to get all options on the table and then go through what's going to make the biggest impact. I wouldn't say it's an easy win to put a communication platform in, it isn't, but versus some of the other things that you can do, we saw this as a not too much effort, pretty big reward.
Retailers will all be looking for efficiencies. We'll all be looking to how do we bring down that payroll cost. But I would add into that the need for us to be delivering on our regulations and being safe, really important for all of us.
Staff turnover is a big issue at the moment. It's very difficult keeping staff engaged and keeping them retained. And obviously that means training people who come in constantly and therefore giving them some sort of structure to follow so you can maintain the consistency.
I think there's probably tangible benefits and there's intangible benefits, and both are as valuable, I personally believe. But on the tangibles, clearly we had a business case around hours removal that we measured and consulted with the field team to pay for the platform and a little bit more. So that's a very tangible benefit. When you're into the intangibles, you don't really know in some areas what have you done, because you've done that much. But what I would say is that there's a correlation broadly in the time that we've had YOOBIC and the trajectory of our labour turnover and absence, and it's certainly been a part of trying to engage our 28,000 frontline workers that we never had a platform for before other than in the store.
The most important thing for me that I've realised working with a number of different retailers in particular is it's what goes on under the bonnet, because actually efficiency and productivity and engagement under the bonnet is what allows you to deliver the stuff that's more visible for customers. You can see that in the winning retailers in the UK are usually the ones that have got the most productive consistency, clear operating model, engaged colleagues that are actually delivering what customers want. And if you can get that right, you're going to win.